Let yourself settle in now. There is nothing left for you to do today. The world has turned on its axis, carrying you away from the demands of the morning and the noise of the afternoon, delivering you safely here to this edge of the night. Adjust your pillows. Feel the weight of the blanket settling over you like a protective shield. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Allow the air to flow in deep and out slow, signaling to your body that you are safe, you are warm, and you are ready to listen. Tonight, we are going to take a journey not across space, but through the gentle history of how we see. We often think of perception as work, the eyes darting, the brain analyzing, the constant stream of information. But there is a secret, relaxing history to perception. There are facts about the way we view the world that are as comforting as a soft lullaby. To find the first comfort, we must step out of the modern world. Imagine for a moment that you can mentally unplug the glowing screens, dim the artificial streetlights, and silence the hum of electricity that vibrates through our modern cities. We are drifting back in time, floating gently through the centuries until we land softly in the 16th century. You are standing before a heavy wooden door in an old stone building. The air here is cool and smells faintly of old parchment and dry cedar. You push the door open and step inside. You have entered a Camera Obscura. In Latin, camera simply means room, and obscura means dark, a dark room. It is one of the most ancient and peaceful architectural concepts in human history. Long before we had cameras to capture moments in plastic and pixels, we had this simple, beautiful room. Imagine yourself sitting in the center of this room. It is completely pitch black. The heavy velvet curtains are drawn tight against the windows. The stone walls are thick, blocking out the sounds of the horse-drawn carts and the market vendors outside. Here, in the dark, there is only silence. A profound, heavy, velvety silence that wraps around you like a blanket. But look toward the far wall. There, amidst the darkness, is a miracle of physics. Drilled into the window shutter is a tiny, perfect hole. It is no larger than the tip of a pencil. This is the aperture. And through this single tiny point, the bright afternoon sun from the outside world is trying to get in. But it doesn't flood the room with blinding light. Instead, the laws of nature do something very strange and very soothing. A single beam of light travels through that pinhole. It carries with it the image of the world outside. It travels across the dark room and lands on the white plaster wall opposite you. Sit in the chair in the corner of this dark room and watch the wall. There, projected in soft, glowing colors, is a moving painting of the world outside. You see the green trees swaying in the wind. You see the clouds drifting lazily across the sky. You see people walking past. But there is a catch, a beautiful, relaxing catch. Because of the way light travels in straight lines, the image on the wall is upside down. The sky is on the floor and the ground is on the ceiling. This inversion is the first relaxing fact of perception. When you view the world through the Camera Obscura, reality is detached from responsibility. The world outside is chaotic, busy, and loud. But here, inside the quiet room of the mind, the world is just a play of light and shadow. It is soft. It is silent. It is a movie playing just for you, and because it is upside down, your brain doesn't try to solve it. You don't have to interact with it. You just watch the color shift. Watch the projection on the wall now. See the amber glow of the sunlight. See the deep, dusty greens of the leaves. Notice how the image is slightly blurry at the edges, a soft focus that feels like a caress to your tired eyes. There is a profound sense of safety here. You are separated from the world by a thick wall, yet you can still see its beauty. The Camera Obscura acts as a filter. It strips away the noise, it strips away the urgency. All that is left is the pure sensation of light. Think about the dust motes dancing in that single beam of light cutting through the darkness. They rise and fall in the stillness of the air, swirling in slow motion like tiny stars in a private galaxy. This historical room is actually a metaphor for your own body, right now as you lie in bed. This is the most soothing biological fact of all. Your eye is, by definition, a camera obscura. Your eye is a dark chamber. Your pupil is the aperture, that tiny hole that lets the light in. The retina at the back of your eye is the white wall where the images are projected. Did you know that when light hits your retina, the image is actually upside down? Just like in the room. Your eyes receive the world inverted. It is your brain working hard all day that flips it right side up, that adds the depth, that labels the objects, that creates the stress of recognition. But now, as you lie here, you are invited to stop that work. You are returning to the raw, peaceful state of the Camera Obscura. Close the shutters of your eyes. When you lower your eyelids, you are effectively closing the aperture. You are sealing the dark room. The light from the outside can no longer enter. The projection on the wall fades into a comforting, warm blackness. You are no longer responsible for flipping the world right side up. You can let the world stay upside down. You can let the world stay outside. In this dark room of your mind, there is no past and there is no future. There is only the sensation of now. The cool air of the room, the softness of the chair or the mattress beneath you, the gentle rhythm of your own breathing, which sounds like the slow wash of a tide in this quiet space. Imagine the lens of your perception dialing down. The focus is softening. The sharp edges of your thoughts are becoming blurry, like the edges of the projection on the plaster wall. The colors are fading from bright daylight to the sepia tones of late afternoon, and finally to the cool, dark blues of twilight. The Camera Obscura teaches us that we are just vessels for light. We don't have to hold on to the images. The trees on the wall sway, and then they are gone. The clouds drift across the plaster, and then they vanish. The image changes, but the wall remains still. The room remains quiet. You remain safe. Feel a wave of relaxation travel down from your forehead, smoothing out the space between your eyebrows. Let it travel down over your eyes, those tired little cameras that have done so much work today. Let them rest. Let them turn inward. You are safe inside the shelter of your own perception. The walls are thick. The curtains are drawn. The noise of the centuries has faded away. There is only the dark, the quiet, and the slow, steady beat of your heart echoing gently in the room. As we prepare to leave this room and drift deeper into history, allow yourself to float in this stillness for a moment. The world is out there, but it is just a silent movie, a distant projection that cannot touch you. You are here. You are still. You are ready to drift deeper. Leave the dark room of the Camera Obscura behind you now. Let the heavy wooden door click shut, sealing away the afternoon sun. In our journey through time, the sun has set, and the day has given way to the most profound and velvet darkness imaginable. We are drifting further back now, floating on the river of time, past the Renaissance, past the Middle Ages, until we arrive softly on the warm, dry earth of the ancient world. It is the year 500 BC. The air smells of cooling sand, dried sage, and the faint, sweet scent of jasmine blooming in the night. You are no longer indoors. You are lying on your back atop a flat stone roof in Babylon. Or perhaps you are reclining on a grassy hillside in ancient Greece, overlooking the Aegean Sea, which breathes quietly against the shore far below. Above you, the sky is not like the sky we know today. There are no city lights to bleach out the heavens. There are no airplanes blinking their way across the horizon. There is only the dome, the great expansive obsidian dome of the universe, dusted with more stars than you could ever count. They are so bright, so close, they look like diamonds resting on black velvet, just out of reach. Here, under this ancient canopy, we discover the second most relaxing fact about perception. It is a secret about movement and the gift of stillness. Science tells us that right now, as you lie in your bed, the Earth is spinning. It is rotating on its axis at over 1,000 miles per hour. We are hurtling through the dark void of space, orbiting the sun at speeds that defy imagination. By all laws of physics, we should feel this speed. We should feel the wind rushing past us. We should feel the centrifugal force pulling at our clothes. But we don't. Our perception has been gifted with a beautiful biological illusion, the illusion of stillness. The fluid in your inner ear, the sensors in your skin, and the interpretation of your brain all conspire to tell you a comforting lie. You are perfectly still. The ground beneath you is solid. The bed you are lying on is an anchor. The earth is immovable. The ancient stargazers of Babylon and Greece believed this illusion with all their hearts. To them, the earth was the heavy, silent center of everything. They believed that the earth sat still, resting, while the entire universe gently rotated around it. For tonight, I want you to adopt that ancient perspective. Forget what you know about gravity. Instead, feel the ancient stillness. Feel the heaviness of your body sinking into the mattress, just as the ancient astronomers sank into the cool stone of the observatory. You are the center point. You are the heavy anchor. You are immovable. Look up at the imaginary sky in your mind. In ancient Greece, they called the planets asteres planetae, wandering stars. But they moved so slowly, you would have to watch for weeks to notice they had changed position. To the naked eye, on a single quiet night, everything is frozen in a perfect crystalline moment. Imagine you are a Babylonian astronomer. You have spent your entire life watching this sky. You know that there is a rhythm here, a clockwork so slow and so grand that it makes human worries seem microscopic. You watched the Milky Way. To the ancients, it wasn't a galaxy, it was a river. The Greeks called it the Galaxias Kuklos, the Milky Circle. Imagine it as a stream of pale white light, a river of milk flowing gently across the dark dome. It doesn't rush, it doesn't roar, it simply drifts, a silent river of light that has been flowing for eternity. As you lie there, feeling the stability of the earth beneath you, you can sense the music of the spheres. This was a Greek idea, that the movement of the stars and planets was so perfect, so mathematically precise, that it created a divine harmony, a hum of the universe, that was too low for human ears to hear, but which the soul could feel. A low, resonant hum, a vibration of pure peace. The illusion of stillness is a shelter. It shields us from the chaos of motion. It allows us to sleep on a spinning planet without ever feeling dizzy. It allows us to trust the ground. Feel that trust now. Trust the surface you are lying on. It is holding you up. You don't need to hold on. You don't need to brace yourself. Gravity is not a cage. It is a weighted blanket, pressing you gently down, rooting you to this spot of safety. Watch the constellations in your mind's eye. See Orion, the hunter, slowly, imperceptibly rising in the east. See the seven sisters, the Pleiades, a tiny cluster of blue jewels shimmering in the dark. They are rising, crossing the sky, and setting, following a path that was laid out billions of years ago. There is a deep comfort in predictability. The ancient stargazers found solace in the fact that the stars would always return. No matter how chaotic life on Earth became, wars, famines, storms, the stars remained orderly. They were the fixed stars. Let your thoughts become like the fixed stars. Let them stop darting around like the wandering planets. Let your thoughts settle into their designated places in the sky of your mind. They are distant now. They are just pinpricks of light, far away, beautiful to look at, but too far to touch. The ancient astronomer closes his eyes. The cool night breeze brushes against his face. He knows that the Great Bear will circle the North Star. He knows that the moon will wane and wax. He surrenders to the cycle. You too can surrender to the cycle. The cycle of the day is ending. The sun has done its work. The earth has turned its face away from the light, gifting you this shadow, this night, this time for recovery. Notice how your perception of time begins to slow down when you look at the stars. A minute feels like an hour. An hour feels like a second. In the face of the cosmos, urgency evaporates. There is no deadline in the night sky. There is only being. The illusion of stillness wraps around you. You are the still point in a turning world. Everything revolves around your rest. The shadows in the room are standing guard. The stars above the roof are watching over you with their unblinking ancient gaze. You are safe in the center. Feel the heaviness in your limbs. The legs are heavy, sinking into the bed. The arms are heavy, resting by your sides. The head is heavy, supported by the pillow. This heaviness is the earth claiming you, holding you close, promising that you will not fall. As we prepare to leave the ancient world, take one last look at that pristine dark sky. The wandering stars continue their slow, silent march. The river of milk flows on. The silence of the desert night fills your ears, pressing out any lingering noise from the day. You are drifting now, drifting on the surface of this stable, quiet planet. You are a traveler in time, resting between the eras, held in the gentle hand of gravity. The night is long, and the stars are patient. They will wait for you. Drifting deeper into the stillness. The ancient world fades into a soft mist, and you are ready to move forward, floating toward the soft, blurred lights of the Renaissance. But for now, just rest in the quiet stability of the night. Leave the ancient desert and the silent spinning stars behind you now. We are moving forward again, drifting on the gentle current of time. The air around you changes. It cools. It becomes heavy with the scent of rain on cobblestones and the earthy aroma of old wood. We have arrived in Europe. It is the 16th century, the High Renaissance. Imagine you are walking down a quiet, narrow street in Florence, or perhaps along a canal in Delft. The bustling markets have closed for the day. The only sound is the echo of your own footsteps fading into the twilight. You stop before a heavy oak door, the handle worn smooth by the hands of masters. You turn it, and it opens without a creak. You are stepping into the sanctuary of the artist, the studio. The air inside is still. It smells of crushed flowers, linseed oil, turpentine, and dust. It is a comforting, creative smell, the scent of patience. The room is large and high-ceilinged, dominated by a single tall window that faces north. North light is the softest light. It never glares. It never changes harsh shadows. It is a constant, gentle illumination that bathes the room in a cool, milky glow. Walk to the center of the room. There is a wooden stool there. Sit down. Rest your hands in your lap. Look at the large canvas resting on the easel in front of you. Here, we discover the third relaxing fact about perception, the discovery of perspective. For centuries, paintings were flat, but in this era, artists discovered the mathematics of depth. They discovered that if you draw lines converging to a single point in the distance, you can create the illusion of an infinite horizon. This is called linear perspective. Why is this relaxing? Because it gives your eye a place to rest. Look at the imaginary canvas in front of you. It is a painting of a landscape. A long, straight road stretches away from you, lined with tall cypress trees. As the road goes further back, it gets narrower and narrower, until it becomes just a tiny dot in the distance. This is the vanishing point. Focus your mind on that vanishing point. It is the place where the earth meets the sky. It is the place where parallel lines finally touch. It is a point of perfect unity. In the logic of the painting, the vanishing point is infinity. It is so far away that no noise can reach it. No worries can travel that distance. Let your gaze soften. Follow the lines of the floorboards in the painting. Follow the tops of the trees, all leading you deeper and deeper into the picture, further and further away from the room you are sitting in. Your mind is traveling to the horizon, and when you reach that horizon, there is nothing to do. You just stop. You just exist at the edge of the world. Now look at the figure painted in the foreground of this masterpiece. It might be a portrait by Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo gave us another gift of perception, perhaps the most soothing technique in art history. He called it Sfumato. The word comes from the Italian word for smoke. Before this, artists painted with hard, sharp outlines. But Leonardo looked at nature and realized something profound. There are no black lines in nature. When a cheek turns into a chin, or a hill turns into the sky, there is no sharp border. There is only a gentle transition, a blurring, a haze. Sfumato is the art of the soft focus. It is the technique of allowing one form to melt into another, like smoke dissipating into the air. Apply Sfumato to your own body now. We often hold our bodies with sharp lines. We keep our jaws tight, our shoulders hard, our fists clenched. We create rigid borders between ourselves and the bed. Imagine a brush dipped in a soft, warm oil paint. gently touching your forehead. It is painting over the lines of worry. It is blurring the edges. Feel the sharp tension in your brow dissolve into a soft haze. The brush moves down to your jaw. It blends the tightness into relaxation. There is no line where your neck ends and the pillow begins. There is only a soft, smoky transition. You are melting into the mattress. Sfumato. Vanishing like smoke. The studio is getting darker now. The northern light in the window is fading to a deep indigo. In the corner of the room, imagine the ghost of Johannes Vermeer, the great Dutch master. He is sitting quietly, just watching the light fall on a pitcher of milk, or a pearl earring, or a map on the wall. Vermeer understood the holiness of the everyday moment. In his paintings, time stops completely. The milk never finishes pouring. The letter is never finished being read. The moment is frozen in a perpetual golden amber. This is the painter's perspective, the ability to freeze time. To the painter, a bowl of fruit is not breakfast. It is a universe of color and shadow to be studied for hours. To the painter, a dust mote floating in a sunbeam is not dirt. It is a star. Watch the dust motes in this imaginary studio. The heavy velvet curtains have been drawn, leaving just a sliver of light cutting through the room. The dust motes dance in slow motion. They rise and fall, indifferent to the world outside. They are simply riding the air currents of the quiet room. You are that quiet. You are that still. Your eyes are heavy now. The canvas in front of you is becoming blurry. The vanishing point has pulled you all the way in. You are no longer looking at the painting. You are inside the painting. You are standing at that distant horizon, where the sky meets the earth in a soft, hazy line. The colors are muting. The bright reds and blues of the day are being covered with a wash of burnt umber and gray. The palette is cooling down. Think of your thoughts as objects in a painting. Instead of analyzing them, just look at them as shapes. See a worry not as a problem to solve, but a splash of dark paint on the canvas. Use your mental brush to blend it into the background. Smudge the edges until it disappears into the shadow. The studio is getting darker now. The northern light in the window is fading to a deep indigo. In the corner of the room, imagine the ghost of Johannes Vermeer, the great Dutch master. He is sitting quietly, just watching the light fall on a pitcher of milk, or a pearl earring, or a map on the wall. Vermeer understood the holiness of the everyday moment. In his paintings, time stops completely. The milk never finishes pouring. The letter is never finished being read. The moment is frozen in a perpetual golden amber. This is the painter's perspective, the ability to freeze time. To the painter, a bowl of fruit is not breakfast. It is a universe of color and shadow to be studied for hours. To the painter, a dust mote floating in a sunbeam is not dirt. It is a star. Watch the dust motes in this imaginary studio. The heavy velvet curtains have been drawn, leaving just a sliver of light cutting through the room. The dust motes dance in slow motion. They rise and fall, indifferent to the world outside. They are simply riding the air currents of the quiet room. You are that quiet. You are that still. Your eyes are heavy now. The canvas in front of you is becoming blurry. The vanishing point has pulled you all the way in. You are no longer looking at the painting. You are inside the painting. You are standing at that distant horizon where the sky meets the earth in a soft, hazy line. The colors are muting. The bright reds and blues of the day are being covered with a wash of burnt umber and gray. The palette is cooling down. Think of your thoughts as objects in a painting. Instead of analyzing them, just look at them as shapes. See a worry not as a problem to solve, but a splash of dark paint on the canvas. Use your mental brush to blend it into the background. Smudge the edges until it disappears into the shadow. Sfumato. Soften the edges. There are no hard lines left in your world. There is only the soft gradient of sleep approaching. The studio is silent. The brushes are washed and put away. The smell of the oil paint is faint and lulling. You are a masterpiece of stillness. You are a study in rest. The artist has stepped out of the room, blowing out the candle as he leaves. The room is dark, save for the faint glow of the moon through the high window. You are alone in the safety of the studio, surrounded by the beauty of soft focus, ready to let the final image fade to black. Drifting, melting, blurring into the night. The perspective has shifted. You are no longer looking out, you are looking in. And inside, it is vast and dark and quiet. Leave the scent of oil paint and the soft haze of the Renaissance studio behind. Let the image of the vanishing point fade into a comforting gray mist. We are traveling forward again, moving through the corridor of time, stepping softly into the age of enlightenment. It is the year 1666. The world outside is chaotic, but we are going to a place of absolute solitude and order. We are traveling to the quiet English countryside, to a house called Woolsthorpe Manor. The air here is crisp and clean. The only sounds are the rustling of the apple orchard in the wind and the bleating of sheep on the distant hills. We are entering a room that belongs to a young man named Isaac Newton. He has closed the blinds. He has shut out the world. Just like in our first chapter, the room is dark. But this darkness is not for hiding. It is for understanding. It is a darkness designed to reveal the most soothing secret of the universe, the anatomy of light. Imagine you are sitting in a high-backed chair in the corner of this darkened room. The floorboards are wide and cool. The house is silent. Newton has drilled a tiny hole in his window shutter. A single pure beam of white afternoon sunlight cuts through the gloom. It looks like a solid bar of gold suspended in the air. In his hand, Newton holds a prism, a simple triangular piece of glass. It is cool to the touch, heavy, and perfectly smooth. Watch now in your mind's eye as he slowly lifts the glass into the path of the sunbeam. The moment the white light hits the glass, something magical happens. The light does not just pass through. It unravels. It surrenders. The glass gently bends the beam, spreading it out, unspooling the tight knot of white energy into a wide, soft ribbon of color. On the far wall, a rainbow appears. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. This is the fourth relaxing fact about perception. Complexity can be unraveled into harmony. We often feel that our days are like that beam of white light, intense, blinding, and overwhelming. We think of white noise or white light as everything happening all at once. It feels like pressure.
But Newton showed us that inside that intensity, there is actually a beautiful, orderly spectrum. When you pass your day through the prism of relaxation, you realize it is just a series of colors. Look at the spectrum on the wall of the manor. See the red. It is the color of the morning that has passed, the energy you spent. It is warm, but it is over. See the yellow, the brightness of noon, the work you accomplished. It is fading now. See the green, the color of the earth, the grounding force that holds you. And then watch as the spectrum cools. This is where the relaxation deepens. We move into the blue, the indigo, and the violet. This transition from the warm colors to the cool colors is not just physics. It is a biological signal for sleep. For millions of years, before light bulbs and screens, human eyes used this spectrum to tell the brain what to do. When the sun sets, the atmosphere acts like a giant prism. It scatters the blue light away, leaving the soft reds and ambers. But as night truly falls, we enter what artists and scientists call the blue hour, that brief, magical moment of twilight where the world is bathed in a deep, cooling indigo before turning to black. Your brain is hardwired to love this color. Imagine that cool, deep indigo light filling the room now. It is a visual lullaby. Unlike the sharp yellow light of the day, which demands attention, blue and violet light recede. They move away from you. They create depth and space. Science tells us that when your eyes perceive the fading of blue light, the pineal gland, a tiny pine cone-shaped structure deep in the center of your brain, begins to release melatonin. This is the chemical of sleep. It is the body's way of saying, the show is over, the theater is closing. Let's go back to Newton's room. He places the prism down, he covers the hole in the shutter. The rainbow on the wall fades. The room returns to a perfect, restful black. But the lesson of the prism remains. You can choose to refract your thoughts. Imagine a thought that is bothering you. It feels like a bright, harsh beam of light. Now imagine placing a prism of glass in front of it. Watch that worry hit the glass and break apart. Watch it shatter into soft, harmless colors. The intensity is gone. It is just a pattern on the wall now. A pattern of red and blue that is fading, fading, fading. You are unwinding. You are unspooling. Think of the word spectrum. It comes from the Latin word for ghost or apparition. The colors are just ghosts of the light. They cannot hurt you. They are intangible. As you lie in your bed, visualize a wash of violet light starting at your toes. It is the color of lavender, the color of deep twilight. It is a heavy, comforting color. Feel it rising up your legs, cooling the muscles, soothing the joints. Feel the indigo rising over your hips and your stomach. It is the color of the deep ocean, slow and rhythmic. Feel the soft blue washing over your chest and your shoulders. It is the color of the evening sky, vast and empty. The warm colors of the red of urgency, the orange of hunger, the yellow of activity, they are all gone. They have been refracted away. You are left only with the cool end of the spectrum. This is the temperature of sleep. Cool, dark, quiet. Newton's experiment proved that white light is not one thing. It is many things working together. And when they separate, they find peace. Your mind is separating now. You are no longer a single tense beam of consciousness. You are a soft, scattered array of dreams waiting to happen.
The darkened room at Woolsthorpe Manor is silent. The sheep on the hills have settled down. The wind in the apple orchard has died away. The physics of the universe are stable. The laws of nature are holding everything together so you don't have to. Light travels at 186,000 miles per second. But here, in the dark, light has stopped traveling. It has arrived. It has landed on the wall and vanished. You do not need to be fast anymore. You do not need to be bright. You can just be the prism, resting on the table, cool and still, waiting for the morning that is hours and hours away. For now, there is only the velvet dark. The cooling blue has done its work. The chemical tide of sleep is rising in your mind, gentle and inevitable as the tide of the sea. Drifting past the enlightenment, drifting past the logic and the science, we are ready to float toward the final frontier, the place where perception stops looking outward and starts looking inward. We have traveled a long way together tonight. We have sat in the dark room of the Camera Obscura. We have watched the ancient stars spin in the silence of Babylon. We have learned to soften our focus in a Renaissance studio, and we have cooled our minds with the indigo light of Newton's prism. Now we arrive at the end of the journey. We are drifting into the 19th century, the Victorian era. The world is becoming softer, upholstered in velvet and illuminated by the warm, wavering glow of gaslight. Imagine you are in a quiet study in Vienna or London. The year is 1890. The room is lined with books, their leather spines absorbing the silence. A fire has burned down to glowing embers in the hearth. A grandfather clock ticks slowly in the hall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. But even that sound is beginning to fade, moving further and further away. In this era, scientists stopped looking only at the outside world and began to look inward. They became fascinated by the borderland, the strange, misty frontier between being awake and being asleep. Here, we explore the final relaxing fact of perception, the afterimage and the dissolving of the self. Think of a time when you looked at a bright window and then closed your eyes. For a few seconds, you could still see the glowing shape of the window floating in the darkness. That is an afterimage. It is the eye's memory. It is the retina holding on to the past for just a moment before letting it go. As you lie in bed right now, your day is becoming an afterimage. The conversations you had, the emails you wrote, the traffic you navigated, they were bright, intense lights. But you have closed your eyes now. The eyelids are shut. The events of the day are glowing faintly, but watch them. They are changing color. They are fading from bright white to a dull, soft gray. They are losing their shape. The 19th century psychologists realized that the brain doesn't shut off like a switch. It dims like a gas lamp. It is a slow, gentle process of unhooking the senses one by one. Let us walk through this biological shutdown together. It is the ultimate act of letting go. First, the brain disconnects sight. Even behind your closed eyelids, it is not perfectly black. You might see swirling clouds of color, faint pulses of purple or green. The Victorians called this Eigenlicht, or intrinsic light. These are the phosphenes, the resting energy of the visual cortex. They are not things you need to see. They are just the northern lights of your own mind, drifting aimlessly. Watch them swirl. They require no focus.
They are the curtains closing on the visual world. Next, the brain softens sound. There is a tiny muscle in your middle ear called the tensor tympani. When you are awake, it is tight, ready to pick up the smallest noise. But as you drift towards sleep, this muscle relaxes. The sensitivity drops. The sounds of the house, the settling wood, the hum of the refrigerator, the wind outside are not stopping, but your perception of them is changing. They are moving behind a thick pane of glass. They are becoming the background. They are no longer signals. They are just texture, a soft white noise that wraps you in a cocoon of privacy. Now, the most soothing transition of all, the fading of touch. Proprioception is your brain's ability to know where your body is in space. It knows your arm is by your side, it knows your head is on the pillow. But as you cross the threshold, this sense begins to melt. This is why you sometimes feel like you are floating. The boundary between your skin and the sheets is dissolving. You are no longer a body defined by edges. You are just a warm, heavy presence. You are melting into the mattress, becoming one with the bed. The gravity is gentle. It is holding you so you don't have to hold yourself. We have reached the state that 19th century scholars called hypnagogia. This is the threshold, the bridge, the magical space where perception melts into memory and memory melts into dreams. In this state, logic is no longer welcome. Logic is a tool for the day. You can put it down now. Notice how your thoughts are changing. They are no longer linear. You might think of a face and it transforms into a flower. You might think of a word and it floats away like a balloon. This is good. This is right. This is your brain loosening the knots of reason. It is shuffling the deck. Imagine you are a boat that has been tied to the dock all day. The ropes are the laws of physics, the demands of time, the facts of reality. Now the knot is untied. The rope slips into the water. You are drifting away from the shore. The solid land of wakefulness is getting smaller. The lights of the day are flickering out. You are moving into the vast, calm ocean of the unconscious. The Victorian study is gone. The ancient stars are gone. The dark room is gone. There is only you and the rhythm of your breath. In and out. In and out. Your brain waves are slowing down. They are shifting from the sharp, jagged beta waves of the afternoon to the slow, rolling alpha waves of relaxation, and finally to the deep, oceanic theta waves of sleep. There is nothing left to perceive. There is no light to analyze. There is no sound to interpret. There is no movement to track. You have returned to the oldest state of being. Before you were a worker, before you were a thinker, before you were a name, you were a sleeper. This is your natural home. Feel the final release of tension in your jaw. Feel the tongue drop away from the roof of the mouth. Feel the fingers curl softly in the palms of your hands. Feel the toes relax. The history of perception is a history of finding safety. We built rooms to shelter us. We looked at stars to orient us. We painted pictures to capture beauty. We studied light to understand it. But tonight, the history lesson is over. The book is closed. The candle is blown out. You are safe. You are warm. You are understood. The darkness is not empty. It is full of rest. It is a soft velvet blanket that has been waiting for you all day. Pull it up over your shoulders. Let the world disappear. Let the self dissolve. Drifting, floating, sleeping. Good night.